This is new. According to the Paris prosecutor, François Molin, he says that 6 locations were targeted. At the Stade de France, which is the big modern football stadium where that soccer match was happening tonight. He said he believes that possibly 3 people were killed. Some were killed, according to the prosecutor, possibly 3. It's not clear whether or not that number from the prosecutor is including any attackers who may have died there, either with suicide belts or vests or by some other means. At the Rue de Charonne, which is one of those central Paris locations where we believe that there were multiple gunmen using AK-47 style rifles. At the Rue de Charonne, C-H-A-R-O-N-N-E, 18 people are believed to have died there. At Boulevard Voltaire, 1 person is believed to have died there. At Rue de la Fontaine au Roi, 5 people are believed to have died there. At Rue Alibert, 14 people are believed to have died there. And the prosecutor went out of his way to say at Rue Alibert, in addition to the 14 dead, many people were seriously injured at that location. Again, this is from the Paris prosecutor, François Molin. He said the death toll was very high, taking into account the numbers killed at the Bataclan concert venue. He believes overall the total death toll to be as high as 120. He also echoed remarks that we've heard from French police sources earlier this evening that, according to French law enforcement, they believe that all of the attackers involved tonight in these coordinated attacks, they believe all the attackers are dead. They've put the number of attackers at 5, but the French police have gone out of their way to say they are still actively searching for any accomplices, even if all of these attackers who directly participated in these events tonight have themselves been killed. Joining us now from Paris is Oscar Lopez, who is a reporter for Newsweek. Mr. Lopez, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Where, for me, that keeps coming to mind is Mumbai. I mean, in terms of large-scale, coordinated, multi-location attacks in a major city, one of the precedents here is the 2008 terror attacks in Mumbai in India. Those took place this month in 2008. It was November 2008, so 7 years ago this month. Terrorists launched a coordinated, multi-pronged attack in Mumbai that, like this situation in Paris, it involved multiple locations, not just bombings, but hostage takings. It ultimately led to more than 100 civilian casualties. That assault in Mumbai included essentially simultaneous attacks on the city's main train station and 2 different 5-star hotels and a crowded cafe and a major Jewish center in the city. The attack in Mumbai went on for days. As the attackers held dozens of hostages inside those 2 5-star hotels. It wasn't until military commandos stormed the hotels that the assault finally ended. By the end, it was 164 people killed, hundreds more people injured. That was a coordinated attack on Mumbai that was pulled off by 10 attackers. And we talk about what kinds of groups might be capable of doing this sort of thing. Al-Qaeda has been on everybody's lips today. ISIS has also been widely discussed today. The Mumbai attack 7 years ago was launched by a terror group called Lashkar-e-Taiba, which operates mostly out of Pakistan. And it was apparently planned 4 months ahead of time in Pakistan before that attack was ultimately carried out. Brian Williams is here with me on set. Brian, thinking about Lashkar-e-Taiba, thinking about the Al-Shabaab, which carried off the Westgate Shopping Center attack, which took several days in Nairobi, Kenya, thinking about the kinds of groups that can do this sort of thing. Are we getting ahead of ourselves by talking about what we think the characteristics of those groups have to be in order to pull off something like this?
Well, that's a great question. How small do they have to be effective? Do they have to be a large, sprawling organization? Clearly, it'll turn out that whoever this was helped by keeping the communications tight. All this talk about there was no chatter, there was no intel in advance, no heightened security. That's because someone made very sure that didn't happen. And every attack, to your point earlier, has something unique about it. They take presently known history and perversely kind of add to it. As we said earlier tonight, Mumbai was important for the way cities look at it because they used fire. They used fire, you know, the oldest art form, as a method of terror. And so from that day forward, the FDNY at their fire academy and continuing education as they educate firefighters in the city of New York, warn when you come upon a fire that seems like it's well planned out. If it involves a hotel, members of the public, you could be in the midst of a terrorist attack.
Yes, and that could be the start of something that is designed to lure a large number of uniformed personnel there. That could, yes.
Yep.